Hello, everybody. Normally you would see that set up on this screen, but right now you're not going to. Today we're going to talk about something that's happened in the dice rolling community. Everybody knows about it. How Wizards of the Coast is trying to change their OGL, which, everybody knows about that, but that's not what's important. What's important is why. The fallout is already going to sink them. I don't think we really need to go into that. We will a little bit, but we're not going to harp on the fallout. We're going to talk a lot about the reasons leading up to it, at least as far as my brain is concerned. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Bill Moore. I'm a game designer, game master, author, published. I got tabletop games published on DriveThruRPG and itch.io. We still haven't published our baby game, Warp Drive Odyssey. We've been too busy with life. The holidays hit. Finances are tight. Everybody knows that. We're going to go into that. And the reason the room looks like this is because we're actually remodeling, getting ready for the new studio that we're going to be putting downstairs in our basement. So you're actually going to be seeing a proper room for us to game in and live stream so we can all enjoy it together, right? But let's get into it. So they want to change the OGL, and they're going to. It's their company. I mean, you can't escape it. But why? Why would you do that to all these fun people who are making money on the modules that they're selling to add to people's experience in gaming and stuff like that? Well, as everybody already knows, Cynthia Williams came in from Microsoft, but before that, she was also working for Amazon. All of it IT sales, right? Electrical sales, discount, that sort of stuff. Hey, look at this, buy this, doing the profits and margins thing. So that being said, she got brought on board, took over as CEO while Chris Cox moved up to CEO of Hasbro. And things were great and gravy, right? But now they're not for them. There's reasons for it. So I don't necessarily think it is Wizards of the Coast specific throwing these hammers around as far as the OGL goes. So I got some stuff I looked at and I printed off here. This is right off Hasbro's site. But before that, Critical Role will be brought into this a little bit in my theories on why they're they're not involved, at least not directly, and I don't think they even realize they are, in the profits and earnings of Hasbro. So, yes, call me crazy, but just hear me out. So they released their October quarterly report. It was a $60 million loss. Hasbro did. That's a 16% drop from last year, right? Well, what changed? What changed? Why did this happen? I can tell you why it happened. We're not going to go too far into it. War happened. We're funding the war in Ukraine. There's no other way to say it. Like it, love it, or hate it. That's what it is. Things are getting tight. For whatever reason, we don't need to go into it. And things got expensive. Now, the third quarter earnings when it comes to toy companies is clutch because that's Christmas time or whatever holiday you celebrate. And I hope you guys had a good holiday. If you celebrated one, hope you guys had a good New Year. But what's more important is that they didn't make the money they wanted to because people can't spend like that because, things are tight. You go to the grocery store, right? You go to the grocery store. We experience it here at home. $150 don't get you 3 bags of groceries sometimes. And this is buying the cheap stuff, right? This ain't, this is like your grocery store brand stuff. Okay. So all that being said, that's why people weren't buying. People can't afford that. I barely got my wife anything. We just spent it all on the kid. That's it. That's all we did. And there's nothing wrong with that. Times are tough. Can't make your bills. Times are tough. But that's why things fell. Let's see. But then again, I don't necessarily. You can't just point the finger back at the customer. I think they overspent. I think and we're going to go into this. I don't think that they were watching their wallet close enough, Hasbro was, in regards to spending. Because, your parents told you when you were growing up, you save your money because it's not going to be sunny every day. You know what I mean? So, and it's obvious. Like, their shares reports out. It goes back, I think, to 2018. You could probably, if you looked on the internet, you could find it further back than that, I'm sure. But I went on Hasbro's site and I looked at their proxy, which was supposed to be like, I flipped through it. I went probably about 100 pages deep, and it is thick. Like, it's pretty much pages and pages of fluff with, people's earnings and their adjusted things like that. Like, these people are wealthy. Like, like, I'll never see that type of money. You know what I mean? Like, unless I make something great. Like, the CEO made 1.5 million. That's Chris Cox. His co-chairman, I can't remember his name, he made the same, if not a little bit more. Their board members make in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and their co-designers are making lower hundreds of thousands of dollars. But they were really, like, if you go on their website, they really hype D&D. They hype the Wizards of the Coast thing. Okay, but I don't think they spent their money correctly. If you're paying salaries like that, you're gonna lose your ass. You're just going to. I've worked at factories where the plant manager don't make that much. The CEOs don't make that much. Like, they live, but they also live within their means. You got to stop the spending, the crazy spending. And then and I think that their spending is one of the reasons that they started to try to go and change the OGL. They're like, hey, we're taking a huge loss. Here, I'll even give you an example here. So if you go and look at the Hasbro proxy, because I don't care what Wizards of the Coast is doing. I don't think it's them directly. I think look, when companies come together, they are big board meetings. I've been in these meetings. I've done it. I've been there. And there are some dark, seedy conversations in the open room to where the conversation is, hey, we're taking a profit hit here. What can we do to change it? And then people have to sit around and think, well, we can up our prices. We could charge more with D&D Beyond, or we can add another feature and then charge a little bit more for that, because it's always price increase. They don't care about the customer. They're just trying to save the company. The company is what matters, at least to them. They don't, like, you're in numbers 100%. But when it comes down to sitting and working on this stuff, they're like, well, what can we change? Well, I know there's a lot of, independent content creators who make things, and they make money on pretty much riding on our name. Okay, well, can we get money off of that? Well, yes, because I don't know that content creators for Dungeons and Dragons, independent, meaning independent, like people who just write modules and post it up on the websites and charge people $5, $10 for it, whatever. I don't think that they're going to make that type of income, because I don't know that many wealthy multimillionaire or billionaire people who've made their money off of, making modules. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I am. Good for you if you are. But I don't think that's the case. So I think they sat down and they were like, well, we could try to, rewrite the original game license and get it to where people have to pay us royalties to use our name to make money. It's kind of like someone like making an off-brand Chevy. You know what I mean? It's like, well, we're not making any money on it. We kind of want to. And it's all in the sake of trying to get their earnings back. That's all it is. They've overspent. I think they've overspent, but here's the kicker. I cannot find their spending report anywhere for 2022. And I'm not talking like, oh, we spent this much paying back our debts. No, I can't find their quarterly or their annual spending report. Like, we spent this much. Like, they need audited is what it sounds like. They just need to be audited for whatever reason. because I need to see what you spent in personnel, like for furniture, like what were you buying? Obviously, your salaries are insane, right? And if you're a multi-billion-dollar company, you can provide that. I think that's fair. Although you probably have all the legal people that'll just, shield you from people, like us, who are the actual sea in which you swim. Because, the litigational avenue of things is deep and wide. But I haven't found their 2022 spending report. They only give you profit loss, or no, not profit loss. What did they give you? I can't remember what it's called. But what I do have is their third quarter. It's like their earnings report. So net revenues, and this is in the millions. Okay. Their third quarter in 2021 was 1.97 million. But in the third quarter of 2022, it was 1.6 million. That's 15% change. That's a drop. It's a drop of 15%. Their operating profits, which means the money this might be an indicator as to what the fuck's going on. They're operating. This is the one that kind of got me upset, which means that they were, partying it up, I think, a little bit. Their operating profits was in the third quarter of 2021, it was 367 million. Okay. That's you just operating. But we can talk about why that is here in a moment. But then the third quarter of 2022 was 194 million. So they were trying to save money out the gate. That's a 47% loss. That's almost half. And then they got their net earnings, which third quarters of last year was 129 million, which was down from 253 million the year prior. That's a 49% drop. And all the numbers are right here in front of me. See? They're all right here. You can just print the shit off. We don't need to go into the diluted shares because nobody cares. Because the big numbers are what hurt. It's not the percent, no one cares about the share percentages. Shares go up and down in minutes, hours. It's irrelevant. It matters, but in terms of all the way down to the nickels and dimes, it doesn't matter. But yeah, they were realistically probably down roughly 40, almost 50% in all of their earnings. Okay. That being said, let's start with their shares since we're going to talk about this. Hasbro's shares in 2018 were $81.25 a share. Okay. It's not bad. I've seen companies do horribly worse, but that's not bad. 2019. Okay. And then we're going to get into the whole Critical Role thing of it. 2019. They jumped to $105.61 a share. It's not bad. But what was going on during that time? COVID, that's right. COVID just came right around the corner and bam! And then what became popular? Well, watching shit on TV, right? And stay at home. Mask up, stay at home. That's what they told us. Okay, we'll do it. So we stayed at home, we masked up. People were watching Netflix and Hulu and Crackle. They were also watching Twitch streams and YouTube, and they were watching Critical Role. Now, Critical Role started in roughly 2015, I believe. I'm a fan. They are the reason that I write and do the things that I want to do. Kudos to them for all of their success, and I love them. I only wish the best for them. But they became popular, right? Oh, hang on. Excuse me. Okay, we're good. Sorry about that. I think that Critical Role became popular. Then he started getting sponsored by D&D. I don't know the date that D&D Beyond started sponsoring them. I don't think it was 2015. I think it was most recently, the last couple of years, maybe. Perhaps. I don't know. You super sleuths can find that information. But this is just one paranoid person talking about what he thinks may have happened. I don't know this to be true. It is maybe not true. It's convenient, the timing of everything. You get what I'm saying. So streaming goes up, D&D popularity booms. It freaking takes off, right? It had been popular, but now it really took over. People are getting into D&D. They're sitting around the house playing their games and doing all this stuff. People are making modules and like, yeah, I can make a small living out of this. And, all these things. And then in 2020, stock market or shares in Hasbro were 93.54. Not a bad loss. I mean, it's not awful. You can very well do well with that. But last year, 2 years ago, 2021, 101.78. Great. And I think around this time, D&D Beyond had kicked in and they were starting to sponsor things and promote. And Matt Mercer was releasing all this fantastic content, wonderful content. He did a great job with all of his releases that he's done as far as, all their merch, all of the classes he made, the Gunslinger. And remember, they came from Pathfinder and started playing 5th Ed, which is what a lot of people did. They're like, oh, hey, these guys are playing 5th Ed. It ain't that hard. We could do it too. But at that time, there wasn't all this drama. We'll get into that later. But, and then things got expensive quick. Matt and the crew over there, they're doing a great job. And the war hits. And I think, I'll just say it, I think Hasbro was riding on the whole cast's ability. I think that they were riding on, the image of Critical Role through WOTC. That makes sense. So Wizards of the Coast was like, yeah, we're doing great, guys. And then because of Matt and the team making D&D popular, they went through 2 satanic panics. Survived it. D&D did. I don't think Gary Gygax would have ever seen this shit coming, but who knows? And then, this war happens in Ukraine. And the spending power goes away. I'm just going to say that. The spending power for the U.S. people goes away. As far as, convenience items. Like, right now, I want to buy things, I can't buy. I have my wants. I got what I need. I'm doing okay, I guess. But, it's a hell of a thing. And then, we're giving a lot of money to help Ukrainians. Again, like it, love it, or hate it. We're going to leave that just sit right there. And then you have 2022's Hasbro shares. Hasbro shares for 2022. They dropped to 61.01. Their lowest ever. And why is that? People are pulling their money out. Can't buy Christmas. You can't buy your gifts. Can't make your house payments. People are just they got to pull the money. They don't want to. They have to. They have to survive. At least as far as the first world's issues are concerned, that's what they do. They pull the money out and they either don't spend on what you're selling, or conversely, they just hide it away. And they don't want to spend because, things are expensive. Milk's $5. Eggs are $5. Butter's $5. And me and the wife were joking the other day. It's like $100 just to go outside. You know, it's crazy, man. Like, I've never seen this type of thing before, ever, never ever. So, I think Hasbro was leaning on WOTC to make some changes so they could bump and either save the company or bump things up so they can get the profits back they wanted, or their shareholders are probably going to pull out. Who knows? Maybe that's what it is. I have sat in on these like conversations in board meetings with some pretty big companies. We're not going to talk about who or what or why. None of your business. But it's hell conversations. Like, those board people get, I don't think they should get paid as much as they do for as little work as they perform, but they are making big decisions. But the thing is 9 times out of 10, those decisions don't affect them. I think instead of, going after the small guy who's just trying to make it just like any other big guy and try to, eat the small fish in the pond, which we're going to come around to that here in a second, you should have just dropped your salaries. And you could say, like, I'm looking at crazy salary numbers I've never seen. I mean, they are rich. These are rich people. Like you the first thing you do is knife off the free coffee, and then you eliminate the little guy. You never start at the top and just drop salaries. Like, hey, guys, we're taking a hit. And if we want to save the company, instead of me paying you $5 million a year, I'm going to pay you $1 million. But that'll cover, like, this $4 million is going to cover the lights, the gas, and the stuff to keep the building going for the next year or so. And if you did that to everybody involved, everybody takes a small cut. They still have a job. They might be pissed. That might be a better revenue, but nobody's going to do that. Everybody's entitled. But again, I believe, going back to my original point, that people they got comfortable and happy with how well things were going for them. Like, oh, we're doing great. We're making sales, right? And then we can have the nice office chairs. And I got my kid every video game for Christmas. And now it's, well, maybe we overdid it. So that was Hasbro's. This is all on their website. You can go look it up. And I leafed through their, like I said, their proxy report. I can't find their spending report. I don't think it's published. I don't think they're going to publish it. I'd love to see it. But with everything going on, this is big. I mean, it's big enough where CNBC, as I was sitting here looking at a few things, it made CNBC. It made global news. Well, it's a global situation, but CNBC covered it. That's crazy. Like, I never thought, well, who thought, we'd be in this situation. And I feel for the cast and crew of Critical Role, because this is a hell of a thing to go through, right? I don't blame them in any direction they choose. I can't be mad at them. They've built a business. I mean, but I think I know, Travis, he runs the business. He's a CEO. But Matt's the guy churning it out, and Marissa is his, huge, wagon for support. And they're doing the best they can. I can't be mad at them. Can't. Like, they got families to support. It's California they live in. The place is expensive. And they're going to keep doing what they're doing because they love their campaign. They love, the friendship that they have, and they're going to keep doing what they're going to do. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, they jump on what everybody's doing. And they just go back to Pathfinder and drop D&D Beyond and drop D&D. It's only going to hurt Hasbro more. WOTC will probably go out of business, or Hasbro could just consume them and then just churn out D&D content and just liquidate those assets. That's what I could see happening. Why not? You're cutting a profit loss. It'll bump your stock prices. It's an idea. I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see people lose their jobs. It's awful. I do agree that everything that these independent creators are going through is absolute fucking bullshit, and I'm glad Paizo came in to save the day. I am. I've been cheerleading for him since this whole thing happened. He gives the independent creators somewhere to go to continue to make their money. I hope they kick that shit right out. Here you go, guys. It's yours. And we can keep doing what we're doing. Because let's face it, when the world's in peril, we're supposed to stick together. We're not supposed to just, pull your buddy's rifle up out of the mud and run away with it. You're supposed to stay and help. That's what it's supposed to be about. That's why this is supposed to be one of the greatest countries on the planet. We'll see. All right. Let's see. I got notes here I'm looking at. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be weird and quiet. Okay. Yeah, they made 325 million. Nope, not that one. I mean, the revenue was up 42% with Wizards in 2021. So, see where this is going? I mean, when your stocks go from 2019 105.61 to 61.01 in 2022, there's gonna be changes. And let's face it, we're probably heading to a recession if we're not already in one. So, but that's more or less all I really have. So I don't have any content involved with Dungeons and Dragons. I like D&D. I like playing it when I can. When I actually have a good DM that comes over and actually wants to run it, because I like to be a player too. But I don't know if they're gonna survive this. Maybe they won't. If they won't, then Hasbro will probably just consume them and liquidate the assets at WOTC, and the people are out of their jobs. Or they'll just go work at Hasbro under the old WOTC ways. But Hasbro is going to have a lot to say in it. And the thing is like, instead of Hasbro looking out, they look down. They don't look up, they look down. They don't look forward or back. They only look towards the profit. They don't realize you can make profit doing other things. Get involved in the VR world. People want to do VR. Ever since the movie Ready Player One came out, there's been a massive push to that. You want to be the lead in that? Do that. You want to help, in factory production? Do that. Make money in that. Help keep things going, but don't come after a little guy. Now, when I say little guy, I mean like people like independent creators like me. I ain't got nothing for you. I won't give it to you anyway. But luckily we got Paizo who came in and said, yeah, I don't think so. We're just going to do it this way. So hopefully that turns out pretty well. But that's Hasbro's stuff. You can go look it up on their website. They put it all out there. It's not like I'm saying anything wrong. It's all right there. And if I misquote anything, it's right there to correct me. Go for it. I don't wish anybody ill. I just wish for them to figure out a better way than squishing people. Like survival of the fittest. Yeah, that works only for so long. But here's the thing. As far as WOTC goes and Hasbro or even anyone else, we don't need you. Okay? We are the market. We're the wallets. We're the ways you make your money. But we don't need you. I could sit here today if I wanted to and write another D&D or something of the like. Not plagiarized, no. Just something different. There'd be dragons and missions and quests and everything else that has ever gone on in the books and tales of King Arthur or the Lord of the Rings But it's good to remember your base, right? There's this saying, fuck around and find out. It's very true. You fucked around, right? You didn't consult anybody. You just came out with this shit. It got leaked. You got caught with your hand in the cookie jar, and now you're paying for it. It is what it is. But when you start lashing out at your customers, right? The people who buy your miniatures, buy your books, buy any toy that you guys produce, whether it's WOTC or Hasbro, at this point, they're the same thing. I mean, they're just, different. They're just slightly different now. You're going to take the hit. You're going to get lost. Because people won't put up with that type of shit. Why would I want to? Am I going to go to a restaurant that treats me like shit but has good food? No. I'll go down to Joe Schmo's, pull up burger wagon, have a funny conversation. The food's okay. But at least I was treated good. That's the mentality you can go for. And I mean, you can have all the millions of dollars in the world you want, but that doesn't mean you matter. Okay. Just because you're rich doesn't mean you're free. Remember that. You might be rich, but you're not free. No one's ever really free. You always have to work for something, for somebody, to do something you want. But yeah, I mean, that's just my whole take on it. It's insane that this had to come to this. I deal in different types of RPG creation. Right now, I'm still working on my steampunk one. We're still trying to get the final edits down for Warp Drive Odyssey, but life took over. It's still going to happen, just not soon. Well, not in the near future. And stuff like that, but we are going to try to start selling our stuff on Amazon. Because some of these publishing companies don't have the reach that you need to make the things you want to have happen. But yeah, like DMs can sit at the table, such as myself, and create entire worlds that we could put down on pen and paper and share with our friends, and we don't have to charge or make anything off of it, or we can, and you don't make a gain from it. It'd have been one thing if like you to charge people like a biannual fee of like 1%. Markets come back. But like with what I've seen in your OGL leaked emails, right? And trying to like rob profits. I don't know of any person making $750,000 a year when Hasbro has people making 1.5 million or over that. Like, and you want to take his money, the little guy's money. That's insane. You're a thug. You are a mimic at that point. You're just a vicious thing that sits in the closet and waits for someone to open the treasure chest, hoping for something positive, and you try to eat them. That is disgusting. Luckily, nobody's around to slay you with swords. I'm kidding. No one's going to do that. But you are going to lose your ass. But it's just going to happen. It's not even a thing that I could even have any control over. People are pissed. They're pissed at you. Pissed for what you did. Go after the little guy. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, what's going to be interesting is to go to these Comic-Cons or any type of cosplay convention. And it's going to be interesting. And right now, everybody's cheerleading for Paizo. And I hope they do great. I do. But, to quote Gary Gygax, and he said it best, random chance plays part in everybody's life. And, WOTC and Hasbro took a random chance. And they rolled a natural 1. Yes, sir. Oh, my goodness. So, what are you guys going to do from here? Well, here's what I would do. Obviously, everybody's canceling their D&D Beyond subscriptions and all that. I would encourage you to create your own shit. It just goes to show that companies really don't have your best interest in mind all the time. So maybe just create your own stuff and publish it under your own name. Make your own money. That way, nobody can really try to consume you like these guys were trying to do. So we'll put it in D&D terms. When the mimic tries to eat you, but the mimic is the wagon in which you travel, build your own wagon. Don't hop in the mimic's mouth. You can put wheels on a mimic and a horse to pull it, but it's still a mimic. And you can't ride in it because it'll eat you. So I'm going to leave you guys alone. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Hope you guys have a good rest of your January. If I talk to you again, it'll probably just be on an update. I would encourage Hasbro and WOTC just to let Paizo do its thing. I wouldn't go full legal eagle on them because at this point you've lost your market and the financing, right? You're going to lose your financing because the D&D players are switching over to Pathfinder. So you're going to just take a hit again and trying to fight them. You already stuck your hand in a landmine and lost your arm, okay? So don't do it. Save your money. Build something better. Do something different. Go a different direction. That's my encouragement to you. And that sounds like an asshole thing to say, but it's real. I like D&D, but I'm probably not going to play it just because of this. If they were to change things, yeah, I'll play again. Sure. But it's got to be to benefit the small guy. Everyone is suffering right now financially. And for you to try to squash little guys, it looks bad on you. It looks bad for you. It's a bad look. No other way to put it. I understand why you did it. Your profits are down. Your shares are down. You're paying outrageous amounts of salary. And you want me to care about your problems. I don't. You don't. We're in different worlds. We're still both human. And you need to learn that. You need to know that. Spending power ain't everything. And you aren't free. You think you are, you ain't. So you can't convince me otherwise. You can't. I don't want to hear it. You think you're free, you're not. And again, it's just so despicable. That's like kicking a toddler. It's like, oh, hey, look here, I'm a big kid. I'm going to kick this kid over. That's so stupid. It's insulting. Well, what do you mean? Oh, I can't make money. Oh, these people can't make money riding on my name. They have nothing else. They have nothing else. Some of these people are disabled. They can't work. But they have great minds and they make good content. These artists, phenomenal. Phenomenal. I'd love to have any of their artwork in my house. But you're like, well, I want a cut of your shit. For what? That's like when Etsy or Wish, one of them, they were like, oh, we're going to increase things because we can to make more money. And then everybody's like, oh, great. Now I got to drop my creation. Because you've overspent and lost your ass. And your board of directors is sitting there going, oh, well, let's just smash the little guy a little bit more. They don't care. They'll just drop it or just keep going. We don't care. I got to go to Maui, bang my mistress. That's how it is. I've had these conversations. You're fooling nobody, but like you're killing a niche market and you're being stupid about it, but you're not because there's still Pathfinder and there's all these other tabletop games. But again, to Hasbro and WOTC, go a different direction, figure out something else. Because at this point, you've suffered a major loss. I mean, like, this isn't like, oh, we lost a skirmish. No, you lost half your troops in the first 5 minutes. Level shit. Okay? And I encourage any other game creators out there, the people who made Warhammer 40K or StarCraft or any of that stuff, don't do this. Don't do this. It'll cost you your ass. Because people don't have the money to spend. You want to spank the little guy for just trying to like, hey, I'm happy. I want to help create cool shit. Why? Here's the better. Why didn't you work with him? Say, hey, we really like what you want, like what you're doing. What if we worked out a deal? You send it to us. We'll give you this. We'll upsell it. And then over time, we'll pay you this. That way, it's like a steady paycheck. I mean, there were so many other things you could have done. Your director could have sat down with your finance team, plus Cynthia, and said, hey, we can work something out here. Let's talk to these creators. They're really good people. But no, I could already see it was just some silly board of director, with blinders on. How am I going to explain this to my niece? She don't need the horse. She don't need the cows. She don't need the farm. She just needs to be happy. Things don't make... doesn't matter. But that's the thing. It's like, you could have done anything with these independent creators who are, by the way, way better than some of the shit you've produced. And you could have sat there and said, you know what? Let's work out a deal. Cut them a check. Give them something. The stuff they make makes money. It's all money. Make a fucking deal. Instead, you're like, we're just going to take your shit. If we like it, we're going to take it. You're going to owe 25% of this if you make this much. Why not make them like a quarter partner? Why not write something up? You got a fucking sea of lawyers, right? You have a sea of attorneys. You guys couldn't figure out a peaceful negotiation other than sweeping stupidity? Come on. Come on. That's the best you could come up. And Pies was like, what are you doing? You guys want to barbecue over here? That's fine too. Yeah, come on over. I got bratwurst. They ain't the best. They good though. That's what happened. It is what it is now, isn't it? You made mass mistakes, and now you're paying for them. I don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it anymore. I hope it pans out for you, and I hope you figure something out. In your FAQ that you leaked or released, that is such a passive-aggressive way. And then pointing the finger, oh, they're just a bunch of fat nerd babies who are crying about things. That is, I'm a corporate stooge speak for I don't fucking care. That's what that is. I'm a corporate goon. I don't understand anything but Rolex and Lexus. Go somewhere else. This ain't your market. And you know who I really feel bad for? The actors in that movie you guys just produced. That you had help in producing. Because now they thought they were going to be a part of something cool, maybe some legacy. You smashed it. You fucking smashed it because you just decided to get stupid and greedy. You could have took money off those profits and supplemented your income. Maybe if you wrote that down, maybe you could have figured that out. You want to hire me? I could help you save your ass. I'm kidding. I won't work for a bunch of thugs. But that's the thing. I'm not going to deal with this shit. That's why I don't associate with D&D. Or Hasbro. Oh my God, you guys just write a better contract. Work the shit out. It's not hard. Try to get your player base back. People have hundreds. Here, let's talk about the Warhammer 40K. Different people. They have hundreds, like tens of thousands of dollars invested in their miniatures. Okay, could you imagine the outrage if their company, whoever created it, I don't know off the top of my head, did some shit like you did? That'd make international news. Everyone in Europe to the U.S. plays Warhammer. Everyone from Europe to the U.S. plays D&D. And you stepped in it, and you're just thinking, oh, well, these little people, they'll shut up. I don't think so. Like, you think your quarterly earnings are bad now? Wait till you see next year's. Well, let's just wait. I can't wait for October's third quarter report for this year. I want to see it. Not even from Hasbro. I don't even know if WOTC puts one of those out. But if I just want to see Hasbro's after all this shit shakes out. Why couldn't you sit down and just write out a deal? Right? Figure it out. You went from 105 in 2019 a share to $61 a share. Because there's a conflict going on, and now you're just trying to shake people down for money. Fuck are you thinking? Makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. Oh, we gotta save the business. You need audited. That's what you need. You need to be audited to see what you're spending your money on. Because if you're already trying to smash the little guy after 1 year of bad, you're overspending somewhere. It's probably the restaurants you have and the buildings you work in, or you're giving away too much free shit or coffee, or you guys are spending too much in limousine money, or something like that. Yeah, you're too comfortable. This world changes. This is not a stationary planet. Things change all the time. All the time. You could lose. You are constantly in this country one paycheck from poor or homeless. Remember that. Your circumstance could change in a moment. I've had it happen to me. Many of my friends have had it happen to them. You're no exception. You're no exception to the rules. This is humanity. You're sitting here fucking it up. Amazing. Good job. Figure some shit out. Sit down with your CEO, your CFO. Sit down with all of them. Sit down with your marketing director. Sit down with your art directors and say, look, what can we do to save this? You're losing the ship and it's going down quick, sir. I mean, and if you try to take Paizo to court, like I said, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. Because what'll happen is, I already can tell you, a Kickstarter will kick off, right? This is my prediction. A Kickstarter will kick off for financing to help Paizo fight you. That's what's going to happen. They're going to fight you. They're going to win just on loyalty sales. Even if you wrap them up in court for years, you're just going to lose your ass because you're already losing money. I mean, you could earn it back if you fix this shit. But you're going to lose your ass in court. You're going to spend more money than you probably want to dragging this on, trying to sink Paizo, but a good majority of the D&D players are switching to Pathfinder and going to Paizo with the content creators. This isn't this. It's a bad play. It's a bad play. It was too easy just to sit down and say, "Hey, let's make a deal, independent creator. I like your shit. It looks great. We want to make you a co-partner." You could have Walt Disney'd this shit, but you didn't. We'll make you a content creator. You produce this. You give it to us. We sell it. You keep creating. It doesn't even have to be anything spectacular. It could just be a small thing that could go huge. You don't know. You're in the game of chance in a chance market. And then you're sitting here just rolling natural ones because you're making bad decisions and overspending your money. And then you're trying to blame this is my speculation, but I think you're trying to recoup your money on your share loss and the under earnings from this last Christmas season. That's what I think you're doing. And I don't think WOTC has a lot of say in it, but I do think that WOTC really doesn't care about the players. They just want to make money. But I do think Hasbro has everything to do with it. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. I don't think I am. I've seen this shit go down too many times. So, but anyway, that's my little spiel, my rant, my rave. That's my little 2 cents, my nickel and dime. So I'm gonna let you guys get back to your weekend. I hope you have a good one. Sorry this took so long. Sorry this was so long. I hope you guys watch it. If you do, hey, the next time you see me, you're gonna see Dungeon Walls. We're gonna do it upright. It's gonna look good. And again, I wish the cast and crew of Critical Role all of the wishes and best luck in the future. I hope they do spectacular things and keep doing what they've been doing. They've been fucking crushing it. And no matter what decision they make, I'm behind them 150%. So, love you guys. Take her easy. We'll see you next time. Stay strapped. Don't get clapped. We'll see you.